Students, all of you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. During last lecture, we started with the CSS. Okay. Cascading style sheet. You know what is the use of CSS?
Decorating
And
the web pages.
yes.
To create
Formatting,
layout of
formatting and creating a layout of website in easy way, in effective way. Okay. There are three types of CSS: inline CSS, internal or embedded CSS, and external CSS. In internal CSS, we saw internal CSS is a tag level or element level CSS. So I said mostly you should not use, you have to avoid to use the inline CSS, because using CSS in web development is to reduce the recoding. Okay, but if you use inline CSS, again you have to recode the style definition in each and every element, so that you have to avoid the inline CSS. Next one is inline CSS example. We saw we executed this code also, I hope. Okay, now see within the h1 tag, within the h1 element, I have written the style definition. This is CSS code I explained yesterday. So when you are using the inline CSS, you will use style attribute. Style attribute. Okay. You will write the entire CSS or style definition as a value of style attribute when you use inline CSS. Okay, when I ask when you write inline CSS, where you will write the CSS. CSS is a code. Okay, where you will write CSS, you have to say you will write the CSS as a value of style attribute. As a value of style attribute. So now within this element, P element, we have written the inline CSS, and within the div tag, using style attribute, we have written style definition or CSS. Okay, and I said what is the use of the div tag also. You can group more than one number of elements into one division. You can group more than one number of elements into one group. Why you have to group more than one number of elements? Suppose you want to give a same style definition for more than one number of elements, then you can keep all those elements within one division, and then you can give the common style definition. That is the use of grouping using div tag. Okay. So when you see the output, it will be like this. Okay. Why? This is the heading. This is the heading. Okay. So now this is the heading where you have written using the h1 tag. What style definition you have given for that? This is color equal to red. Color red, font size 30 pixel. So by taking this style definition, the h1 content, the text has been formatted. And then within the P tag, what style definition you have given? Color green, font size 22 pixel. So now the color of the text became green, and then the font size is little lesser than the heading one, which is 22 pixel. Okay. And then division tag, you open the division tag here and you closed the division tag here. But we'll do this. Let me close the division tag here. Okay. Now what happened? Within this opening and closing div tag, I have written this paragraph. Okay. Even I can write some heading also. I can write H2. All of you mute, please. H2, I'm not giving any style definition within H2. Why I'm writing H2? Because some heading for this paragraph. This paragraph I want to give. Okay. I can give something like this. And then I will close the H2 tag. Okay. Now look at the code. Within the div tag, opening and closing div tag, there are two more other tags, H2 and P. Okay. But observe here, only within the div tag, I have given the style definition. CSS I have written, inline CSS. I did not write any style definition within H2 and P tag. Okay. So I saved the code. I executed. And what happens? Now look at this within the opening and closing div tag. Within the div also I have given some text. Now this text has been taken the style definition, has taken the style definition of this div tag. Okay. So this is some text content has taken this style definition. Color equal to blue, font size is 14 pixel, which is small than the previous two text. And then heading 2, as the H2 also I have written within the div tag, that also took the style definition. But the heading tag, the H2 tag and H1 tag, all the heading tag has its own font size. Please listen, has its own default font size, not color, font size. So the H2 and H1 is having the basic difference among H1 to H level. H1 through level H2, sorry, H7 is the size of the font size of the text. I repeat, how will you differentiate H1 tag, H2 tag, H3 tag, and so on, H7 tag? Only using the font size. Only the font size will vary the in the different levels of H tag. Okay. So now that is a basic property, default property that will not change. Though here you have given font size equal to 14 pixel, the heading 2 did not take the font size, but it has taken the color. Why? Only it took the color because it did not have any default color, heading 2. Okay. So whatever other than the default property, whatever you mention, that will be taken. So heading 2 is displayed by taking its own default font size, and the color is the defined one. The color is given one. Okay. So in inline CSS, what color you have given, it has taken that color. Hello, now look at the third one. Third one is P tag, that also I have written within the div tag. So this text content has taken, does not have, this paragraph does not have any default font size. Okay. So it has taken both color and also font size, what you have given in the inline CSS. Okay. Okay. Now this is inline CSS. Yes.
Ma'am, to edit this division in CSS, we have to give ID to the div tag.
To edit, sorry?
Ma'am, to edit this code in external CSS, we have to give ID to this div tag.
ID is a kind of selector that I will explain you. Okay, now we have seen only inline CSS. You are asking about external CSS. We did not see that. Okay, we are going to see now. Okay, But you asked ID, no, that is different. That is not belonging to inline, internal or external. That is common. Okay. So that ID as a selector we can use. That also I will explain. Okay.
Okay.
Now you just listen only inline CSS. You have to understand about only inline CSS. In inline CSS, how the style definition should be given with the help of which attribute. Okay. What is the basic format of the style definition? Okay. What is the syntax for style definition? What is this? Property name, colon, its value. Semicolon, again another property. If you want to give more property, then semicolon and another property name and then colon and its value. So this is the syntax. Only this you have to know now, right now. Okay. Now we will move to internal CSS, which is the second category. Okay. We are going to see the internal or embedded CSS or internal embedded styles also you can say. Okay. I already said when you want to write the internal, see the difference. This is inline, this is internal. Okay, should not confuse. So internal CSS, if you want to use, you have to use style tag. Underline the word tag, not attribute. Okay. When you use inline CSS, you used style attribute. When you use internal CSS, you will use style tag. Okay. Now we will see how we will use style tag to define the internal CSS. Okay.
Ma'am, is color and font size the only two values of CSS, or can we also
No. There are so many. There are so many attributes, properties. Okay. Now, when I'm explaining, I have to take one or two properties. That's why I have taken this. There are list of properties. There are list of properties in CSS. Okay. Now we came to internal CSS. This is not the output of internal CSS. Okay. Internal CSS, I said in internal CSS, within the head tag, you have to write a style tag. Within the head tag, you have to write a style tag to write the internal or embedded CSS. Okay. So in a style tag, inside the style tag, look at how you have written CSS. This is one of the ways to define the CSS within the style tag. Okay. Here, please observe here, we are not writing the CSS within any attribute. Without using any HTML attribute, directly within the opening and closing style tag, we are writing the style definition, CSS. Okay, this is the first one you have to observe, you have to remember. Okay, students, is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
In inline CSS, remember, we used some tag and then style attribute and then equal to, and then in the value of the style attribute, we have written the CSS. Here, we are not using any attribute. Only condition is the style tag should be used. Style tag. Okay. The style tag should be written within head tag. So head tag is mandatory here. Where when you use internal CSS, you have to use head tag. Why you have to use head tag? Because you know already head tag is an optional tag. But now I am saying you have to use head tag. Why? Because in internal CSS, you are going to write a style tag. The style tag should be written within the head tag. Okay. That's why head tag became mandatory here. So you have written style tag. Okay. Look at the little syntax difference between the inline CSS and internal CSS. When you write without using any without using any tag, without using any attribute, when you write the CSS, you have to follow this syntax. Let us go little down to show only the syntax, not here, Word file. Okay. Now look at here, this is a syntax for CSS. Okay. When you write this is a syntax when you write external CSS and internal CSS. When you write internal CSS or external CSS, this should be the syntax for CSS. First, you will write selector. Okay. Usually in HTML, this we will call as tag. Okay. But here in CSS, you have to call this as selector, not tag. H1 is tag. Okay. In HTML. But when you write the style definition, this should be called a selector. Okay. So H1, any selector, any tag name here you can write. Selector is nothing but HTML tag. Okay. So any valid HTML tag can come here. Okay. So here what I have written, H1 tag I have written, but I should not call this as a tag. I have to call this as a selector. Okay. And then before you write the declaration, style declaration, for example, color, text align and all, you have to open the curly braces. So the declaration of the style should be written between the opening and closing curly braces. Okay, so that you have to remember. Within the curly braces, you will write the declaration. Okay, declarations are same. What is this? Property, value. Again, another property and its value. Okay, this is common. Okay. So here it is a selector and curly braces, and then property name, colon, its value. If you want to write more properties, again semicolon, and then the another property name, and then colon and its value. Okay. This is optional, this semicolon. Because after the second property, you did not write any more property here. Okay, but you can write. Okay, so even if you are not writing any more property, if you have written semicolon, that's okay. It will not show any error. Okay, even if you omit this also, it will work perfectly. Okay. Okay, so this is the syntax. Now look at this. This is a selector. This is selector, body is a selector. Selector is nothing but any HTML tag. Okay. So body, and then within the bracket, I have written property. What is the name of the property? Background color is the name of the property. Its value is what? Yellow green. I'll tell you why I have written yellow green. Okay. So the color value here I have written a keyword yellow green. Okay, yellowish green I want as a background. That's why I have written yellow green. Okay. Then semicolon I have written. I said this is optional if you are not going to extend more properties. Okay. So we did not extend, we did not write any properties here after this. But though we have written what? We have written semicolon. Okay, so this is optional. If you want, you can keep or otherwise. Okay. Okay. And then now this is one selector and one property. This is one set of style definition. We can say this is one declaration. Okay. So another declaration is for another tag. So P is a selector here, P tag, P selector, and paragraph should be displayed what? Color. This color. I will tell you what is this. This is a hexadecimal value of color. Okay. So what I want really here in this document, in this web page, background color. That means body background color should be yellowish green, but the paragraph content color should be this one. Okay. This is some color code. Okay, this is some color. Now I will tell you here itself why in one place I have given the color keyword and another place some hexadecimal number. Anyway, both are going to denote some color, shade of some color. Okay, why there are difference? Okay, students, remember there are many ways you can write the value of the color attribute. Okay, many ways you can write. Okay, one is using keyword, for example, yellow, green, red, orange, purple. Like that, here you can give color keyword. Okay. Or otherwise, you can give like this yellow green, which means yellowish green. Okay. So that is also called giving color keyword. Okay. So what is the predefined keyword for the color that you are giving here? Okay. So by giving color keyword also you can specify the color, or otherwise you can use, let me write here, just this is roughly I'm writing. You can write color, here this is CSS, so I will write what? Colon. I can write red. Now this is what? This is color code, keyword. Keyword for color I'm writing. Okay. Another way I can write hexadecimal code of the color. Hexadecimal code of the color. How I will write hexadecimal code of the color? However, I have to start with the hash symbol. Remember, I have to start with hash symbol. Followed by hash symbol, I can write 3-digit or 6-digit color code. Okay. First, for simplicity, let me explain the 3-digit color code. For example, 1, 1, 1. If I have written like this, the first digit denotes R, red. Second one G, green. Third one B, blue. RGB, red, green, blue. Okay. What I'm saying here I'm saying a particular shade of red, a particular shade of green, and particular shade of blue I want to give us a color. Okay. Now this will vary from, for example, if you have given 0, 0, 0, it is not necessary you have to give all the 3 digits should be same like this, 0, 0, 0. This could be 0, the next one could be 1, the third could be anything, 7 or 8, anything. Okay. But the range of value for each and every digit will be 0 to F. 0 to F I can give. So how many shades? 16 shade. 0 to F if you count in a hexadecimal. Okay. Hexadecimal 0 to 9 will be as it is. And then A, B, C, D, E, F. If you count 0 to F, you will get 16. Okay. So only in this digit, what is this digit? This denote red. Okay. This is a red digit. Okay. Red may I can give 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on till F. Okay. Now these each and every digit 0 to F denotes a particular shade of red. Particular shade of red. When I give 0, 0, 0, remember there is no color. Okay. So that is nothing but 0, 0, 0 if I have given, that denotes black. That denotes black. Okay. If I have given F, 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 which is the highest value of all the 3 shades, all the 3 colors, RGB, then that denotes white. Okay. This basically you have to remember 0, 0, 0, everything 0, which means all the values are 0. R is 0, G is 0, B is 0, that denotes white. All the values are highest value, F, if you have given, that creates white color. Okay.
Ma'am,
Okay.
can you repeat
Now
for white
leaving
again?
that, sorry,
Can you repeat for white again?
F. Because here, which is the lowest value? 0. Which is highest value? F. Like that, here in the second digit also, highest value is F, lowest value is 0. Here also separately, highest value is F, lowest value is 0. Okay. So when you give all the values, R, G, B, all the values are 0, which creates black color. Okay. If you have given all the three R, G, B highest value, which is F, which create white color. Okay. Leaving all these leaving these two options, whatever other value if you have given, that will create a particular shade of the respective color, either R or G or B. Okay. Now, assume here I am giving F. Okay. Now, what color you will give? You have given red is a full value, F, the highest value, but G, green is 0, blue is 0. Okay. So the exact highest value of red you will get. Okay. Let us try first here, then it will be clear. 1 second. I'll show the output. Let me execute internal CSS. Because in internal CSS only I have given that color shade. Okay. I'm going to my default browser. I just refresh. Why this color? Because you have given yellow green as a body color. That's why your entire background become yellowish green. Okay. But paragraph content, look at here, paragraph. I have given F, everything full. Okay, so it is what? White color.
White.
Let me change this 0, 0, 0. And I will save this and I will refresh. I'm getting the text in, because here I have written within the paragraph. So whatever paragraph content, see, paragraph may only I have written, this is a paragraph of text. Okay. So paragraph content is what? Black color. Let me give F here. The last digit denotes what? Which color? Red, green or blue?
Blue.
Blue.
So I want blue as a high value, but remaining 2 are 0. Okay, I want to combine with other shades. Don't want to combine with other shades. So I will refresh. So I save here and then refresh. Now see here, the color become blue. Suppose in the place of blue, I have given 0. In the place of green, I am giving the value full, highest value. I refresh, I will get a highest value of green. Okay. Now in the green, I put 0. I want the pure red, highest value of red. So in the place of red, I have given F. I save, I refresh, I am getting red. But these are not only options. I can mix the shades also. For example, 8 and 8 of this and A of 8 points of what? Red and 8 of green and A. You can give A also, remember. Okay. So A of, because A will be within what? 1 to F. So A also I can give. I save, and if I refresh, I will get a little, it's not exactly purple. Okay, because if you combine 8 points of red and 8 points of green and 8 points of what? Blue, you will get this as a color. So like this, different shades you can give. Okay. And this is not the only way you can use the color code. You can use 6-digit color code also. Here we used 3-digit color code. You can use 6-digit color code also. Okay. So that will also start with hash, because always hexadecimal color value should be followed by hash. Here you can give FF, FF, FF. Here you can specify more shades. Are you getting it? Here the first 2 digit denote red. Second pair of digit denotes green, and the third set denote blue. So here how many shades I can give in every color? For example, red may how many shades I can give? How many different shades I can specify? 00 to FF. 00 to FF. Remember. So 00 to FF means totally 256 different shades of color, red color I can specify. What about in the previous case? If you take only, this is a digit for red. Okay. So here 1 to F. That means totally 16 different shades of red I can specify. Here to specify red, we are using 2 digits. So how many different shades I can specify? How many different shades of red I can specify? 256 different shades of red I can specify. Okay. Even green also, blue also, 255 different shades of green, 255 different shades of green, red, blue I can specify. Why? For red there are 2-digit hexadecimal number, and green also 2 hexadecimal number, 2-digit hexadecimal number, and for blue also 2-digit hexadecimal number. Here more number of shades of the color we can specify. Okay. But this is also called hexadecimal color code, and this also called hexadecimal color. Okay. There are other ways also, but which are not commonly used, but I'll tell you. We can use RGB of, this is function, RGB of 0, 0, some number I can, 6. So this, sorry, it's RGB. RGB. This is RGB. So red, green, blue of 0, 0, 6 if I have given 0. This also denotes 0 value of red, 0 value of green, and 6 point value of blue. So, but this is little different. This is called creating specifying the color value using function, RGB function. So RGB is the name of the function. Okay. And when function is there, you will give the parameters. I think all these you must have studied in C. What is function? What is function parameters? You can pass values through the function. Okay. So like this also you can specify, but this is not commonly used one. You can go for this, either this hexadecimal color code or this. Okay. Okay. So like this. Where we left, we have to see the syntax of internal CSS. Okay. So like this, different ways you can give the value for the color attribute. Color, not only color, background color, any color based attribute or property value you can give using a keyword or using RGB function or using hexadecimal code, color code. Okay. Now come to internal CSS. I said only internal CSS may we will use style tag, okay, within head tag, okay. We can write within the opening and closing style tag, we can write the CSS code. We can write style definition using CSS code like this, okay. So here you have to remember this is selector and this is property name, and this is the value of the property. And here P is a selector, color is a property name, and this value is a value of this color property. Okay. Okay. Like this, you can write the style definition. Now, here you have given the style definition within the style tag. Okay. And after you close the style tag, you have to close the head tag. Okay. So basically within the head tag, you are giving the style. You are writing the CSS code within the head tag. What about the body? Within the body tag only, you will use this style definition. Okay. So within the body tag, opening and closing body tag, I have created the content of H1 tag and a P tag. Okay. But for the H1 tag, I did not write any style definition. Okay. So this will be displayed by taking its default format. I did not give any style definition for H1 tag. If you want, you can give. Okay. Paragraph tag I have written. But look at here, within the P tag, opening P tag, I did not write any CSS. Commonly, I have written the CSS within the head. Okay. So, in this body tag, how many above paragraph I am writing? For example, I copy and paste the another paragraph. Let me differentiate the paragraph content. Then this is B1 and 2. Any number of paragraphs you can write. Just I'll copy and paste the heading here. Let me change this to H2. Can be anything. And this also H2. Okay. I save this, execute. Now see here, I have given 2 paragraphs. I have written 2 paragraphs within the body. Commonly here I have given in the style using a CSS. If the paragraph comes in this document, it should be the color of the paragraph text should be this color. Okay. So everywhere in the entire document, this common style definition will be taken. Okay. So now see here, this paragraph also, the color which I have given here, and this paragraph also displayed by taking this style definition. Okay. So this is called, this internal CSS is called document level CSS. Now this CSS is common for this CSS, no, the style definition. This is common for this entire document, the entire document. This is not like element level CSS, like inline CSS. This is a document level CSS. Okay. I hope you understand now why this is called internal CSS is called a document level CSS or page level. For the entire document, you will write the common style definition, but the respective style definition will be taken by the body content. Okay. So now this is the internal CSS. Remember, internal CSS, to write the internal CSS, you will use the style tag within the head tag. Okay. Okay. Now we will move to external CSS. When I say external CSS, when I'm saying external CSS, as name implies, I did not within the HTML. This is a HTML file. Within this HTML file, I will not write any CSS code. Okay. When I use external CSS, when I write external CSS, I will not write the CSS code inside this HTML file. I will keep the CSS in a separate file. That is this. See, the CSS file should be start like this. Selector name, and then the curly braces, and then the list of properties. Okay. Any other selector, if you want to extend, you will write the selector name by the same syntax. Okay. So now this will be my CSS file. I will type this in a notepad. There is no starting tag or something like that. Any starting or ending tag or something like HTML in CSS. Just you can start the code like this. And when you save this file, all of you please listen. When you save this file, you have to save this in .css extension. Okay. Now, how will you save the CSS file? For example, file, save as. Look at here, when you save the CSS file, here you will write any file name what you want to give. And here, the second one, in the save as type, you have to select CSS, Cascade Style Sheet file. This option, this list item, you have to select. Okay. How when you save the HTML file in save as type should be hypertext markup file. Same way here you have to select Cascade Style Sheet file. Then only this file will be saved as a CSS file. Otherwise, the file will be saved as a text file. Okay. So when you save the file, choosing the save as type is very important. Choosing save as type is very important because the save as type only will decide which type of the file it is. Okay. Remember. So I close this. I saved this as a CSS file. Okay. Now look at this property, background. I have given light yellow. You may ask, ma'am, previously you have given background color as a property name. But now here you have given only background. Okay. Both will do. Okay. You can because background, there are many properties in the name of background. Background color is there, background repeat is there, background position is there. There are many attributes. You can't remember everything, background color, background position and all. So simply if you specify background, here you can write background color, you can write, or you can write position, you can write repeat. We will see position, repeat and all. Okay, what it is. But I'm saying now, generally you can write only background and you can write any of the background property value here. Okay, so this is a short way to write the property. And look at here, font. Font is a property. But here the value, look at the value. Here you have written font size. Here you have written font type. Okay. So separately also you can write font hyphen size colon 18 pixel. Again, in the next line, font style colon Arial, comma sans serif. Like that you can write, but that is tedious. That will increase the lines of code. Okay. And also you have to remember what is the property name for each and everything. Okay. If you remember only font, you can write everything, all the font properties. So 18 pixel px. Why there are two font styles here? Arial also font style, sans serif also font style. This is because safer side of the programmer, we can give more than one number of font style when we give the font style. Why? Suppose the Arial is not there, the first given font style,
is not there in the user system, then automatically the browser will fetch the second one. Okay. If you have given the third one also, third style also, if the first is not available, the browser will choose the second one. The first, second, both are not available in the user system, then the browser will take the third one. Okay, so you're giving option. If it is not there, then you take the second one. Okay. Okay, now H1 color equal to color colon orange. So H1 heading should be displayed in a orange color. So this is what a simple style definition. Now, how will you use this in a CSS file, HTML file, sorry, HTML file? This is the HTML file where I used that CSS file. Okay, remember the CSS file in which name I have saved, I saved CSS file.css. This is my file name. CSS file is my file name. So this you have to remember, that file name you have to give here. So this is the HTML file. In this HTML file, you are giving a link for external CSS. You separately already created the external CSS and you saved the external CSS, the name of CSS file.css. Okay. Now, how will you give link of the CSS file in HTML file when you use external CSS? Within the head tag, again within the head tag, you will use a link tag. Remember, within the head tag, you will use link tag. But within the link tag, you have to use two mandatory attributes. One is REL. The expansion of REL is relative link. REL denotes relative link. Okay. So which one, in using the link tag, which type of document you are going to link? Style sheet. So relative link equal to style sheet. You should not write relative link. Okay, attribute name is REL only. Okay, REL equal to, within double quotes, you will write style sheet. This is the predefined one. Okay, so you can't write style space sheet. You have to write exactly like this, style sheet. Why? It is predefined, not user defined one. So value of the relative REL attribute is what? Predefined. So style sheet I'm going to link, so I will write style sheet. Okay. What is the path of the file, the style sheet? I will write using href. Href attribute. Inside the href attribute, I will give the path of my CSS file, address of my CSS file. Okay. So I have given CSS file.css because this is my CSS file name. So this is the way you will call the CSS file, external CSS file inside the HTML. Inside the HTML. Remember, when you want to use the external CSS, you have to write CSS file as a separate file, external file. And the advantage of this is, in more than one number of HTML file, you can call the CSS file only by writing the link tag. Okay. Now the same CSS file you can call in another HTML file also. So the advantage of this, the good practice to use the CSS is using external CSS. If you want to use CSS for web development, better you use external CSS instead of using internal and inline. Okay. Okay. So what is the advantage of external CSS? Any one of you? What do you think of the advantage of external CSS?
We can use that link again and again.
Yes, you can use the link again and again. You can, it is very easily manageable also. The code is easily maintainable. Why? Because in each and every HTML file, you are not writing a CSS. You are not writing the CSS. CSS separately you have kept. Okay. So in design or layout, if you want to change anything, you no need to go and search each and every HTML file. You will directly go to one CSS file, and whatever change you want to make, you can make. So easily you can maintain the code if you use external CSS. Any other advantage? This is the only advantage. This will reduce the recoding again and again. If suppose, even if you go for internal CSS also, in every HTML, you have to separately write the CSS. Suppose assume that there are two HTML files. There are two HTML files, different document. Two HTML file. In two HTML file, you want to align the paragraphs in a same way. You want to format the paragraph in same way. In the first HTML file also, there are 2-3 paragraphs, and the second one also has 2-3 paragraphs. But all the paragraph you want to display in light blue color. Okay. And the font size should be 14 pixel. Okay. If you did not use external CSS, if you use internal CSS, what you will do? The p tag style definition is same only. You will write HTML. First HTML document may you will write p tag, p, the CSS style definition, whatever you want. But the same style definition again you will repeat in the second HTML file also. I hope you understand. Okay. So this will increase the coding. Okay. Though the code is same, because you want to align the paragraph in the same way, you want to format same by giving same style definition. Again and again, you have to write the style definition in different HTML files. Okay. Instead of that, all the common style definitions, if you keep in a separate CSS file, in both the HTML file, just by giving a single line link tag, you can call the CSS. You can call the CSS file. That is the advantage of CSS file. There are more advantage using a external CSS. Okay. So that is external CSS. You have to remember in inline CSS, you will write style attribute within the respective element. In internal CSS, you will use a style tag within the head tag. In external CSS, you will use link tag along with the rel and href attributes inside the head tag. And you have to write the CSS file separately. Okay. These are the points you have to remember. Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Students, is this clear? Any doubt?
Ma'am, can you repeat the points?
Advantages of external CSS. Advantage of external CSS is you can easily maintain the code. Can easily maintain the code if you use external CSS. Okay. External CSS will reduce the recoding. Okay. Because you have to know why all these points you should be able to justify. It will, as I said, in every HTML, if you write the same style definition, it will increase the number of code. Okay. So in external CSS, you are keeping all the common style definition in one file. You're not going to repeat anywhere. You're just going to call wherever you want. Okay. So it will reduce the number of lines of code, or you can write recoding. It will reduce the recoding in considerable amount. Okay. These are the most important points. All other points are related to this two only. Okay. So easily maintainable. Easily maintainable is what when you want to edit, you can easily you will go to one place and edit. That's what maintainable. Maintainability of the code denotes that only. You no need to. If you want to make any change, you no need to make that change in many places. In one place, you will make change. Where? In the CSS file. Okay. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Now, what are the different ways to specify the selector that we will see in the next lecture? I will start my next lecture at 1 o'clock. Okay, you have to join 1 o'clock. In the next, another link. Okay. Okay. Thank you, students. You all can leave. You can take a break and then you can join.
Thank
1
you, ma'am.
o'clock. Thank you.
Ma'am, the second lecture
Thank you,
will be
ma'am.
till 1:30, right?
1 to 1:30, yes.
Ma'am, thank you.
And then half an hour lunch break. At 2 o'clock, we will start the practical.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.